From the Dude Wife Studios here at the South Point Hotel Casino in lovely Las Vegas, it's Gone Racing with Jeff Motley and Brendan Gaughan, who, as is usual, comes on the air laughing hysterically.
I wish people could really just come in here sometime and listen to our special effects staff. Is
that what we call it?
Behind the curtain. For those that do follow the Gone Racin YouTube channel, link and subscribe. But it has all those noises and the graphics, and you got Ann back there.
We really never know what we're getting right before we get ready to go on there. Everything is calm until about 10 seconds before it's time to go on the air.
Until I walk in, and then Ann gets all charged up.
Exactly. There we go. So, but hey,
look over my shoulder. Wait, the shoulder.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see Brendan's race suit.
We now have Motley on your side. We now got the fire suit on mine.
The hockey jersey with my name. Like I ever played hockey. I grew up in a place where we didn't even know what hockey was. In Virginia, but I have a hockey jersey with my name on it.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
My buddy Dominic Fugere.
And it's not even from the Golden Knights, which is the worst.
I know. My buddy Dominic Fugere, who lives in Montreal, used to write for Le Journal de Montréal. He sent that to me as a gift. It's
very nice. It's a very nice
Montreal
gift.
Canadiens jersey.
Very nice gift.
Yeah. Good dude. But guess what, Brendan? This is the last week of the regular season coming up here. And I know that we got some news for 2026. They announced the schedule, but
congratulations.
But we're not going to talk about the schedule very much because
wrong show. If you're on Sirius XM, wrong show. Don't listen today for that.
Right. Go listen to one of those other guys, and you can hear all about that.
Lots of choices for you to bitch and moan about.
But before we wrap up Richmond, and before we get to talking about Daytona, it is something we want to mention on the show today because you and I both had a long relationship with a man named Humpy Wheeler. Humpy was the longtime president of Charlotte Motor Speedway, a guy I consider a mentor and a guy I know you spent a lot of time with.
Consider mentors.
We lost Humpy on Wednesday night, and it's a sad time, but you know what? A great life and a great contributor to NASCAR.
And you could speak to this more than I can, but as a fan before I became a driver, if you watched pre-race shows at any race in the world, go back to the ABC Wide World of Sports days, go back, there was nothing. It was just drivers start your engines and everybody went around. Humpy Wheeler, in my opinion, invented the pre-race show. I mean, he's the man that what was the goofy guy that jumped the cars at the infield of Charlotte? And
the ultimate blow stuff up.
Oh, he's the guy that started the military landing on the infield at Charlotte.
Right. And a lot of what we see for the Coca-Cola 600, the entire military salute that NASCAR does
all
now.
From Humpy.
Humpy started all of that stuff.
So sad day, but happy day. I mean, look, it was 86,
I believe.
But super great man, super sweet man.
Left a family legacy. His daughter Patty, she was very involved with TNN.
He's got all sorts of them. So good. But to the family, we miss Humpy. We loved him, and hopefully that that he's got some peace and quiet. And now I tell you what though, there's going to be a hell of a pre-race show at the pearly gates when you get there if Humpy's up there. In charge.
They'll be blowing stuff up at the pearly gates. You're probably exactly right. But what Humpy wants us to do is talk about racing.
A guy that blew some stuff up.
That's right. So
Austin Dillon blew it up.
Well, and he didn't have to run over anybody this week to do it either. So I was so happy for him. I was so happy for RC.
We were texting you and I. Yeah. I was so nervous those last 15 laps going, oh, please, dear God, don't give me a caution. Yeah. Please, dear God, don't. The replay of last year was, I'm sure, in Richard's head and everybody's. Way to go, Austin. Way to show that it wasn't a fluke there. Way to put RCR at least back on the map for a week. And look at the odd. If you bet AD, man, why didn't we talk about him more last week?
Well, we really didn't. We talked about him a little bit, but not as much as we should have, because I think we all kind of thought last year was somewhat of a fluke because of the way it ended. But maybe what we should have considered was, okay, yes, he did knock Joey and Denny out of the way on the final lap, but he had to be there to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And this time, I mean, he was the best car.
Yes, he was.
He was the best car all day long. So great run for him. 50-1 to win this race. 50. That's a 5-0.
That's a big winner, right? Wish I would have taken that bet this week for Austin.
Yeah, our producer Ann said she thought about it. How often do you hear? I thought about it, but I just didn't. Yeah,
thought about it.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
That's right. If some buts.
10-1 for a top three, and brought Chevy home. Somebody here at this table, I think, picked the Chevy winner, so brought Chevy home at a plus 170. Taking a quick look, the rest of the top 10, Alex Bowman. Good run for Alex Bowman. He comes in second, but Austin Dillon's win has now put him on the bubble going into the final race of the season. So it's hard to think you finished second in a race and you actually lost ground in the standings. And he was 11-1 for that second place. And then Ryan Blaney, he was third and came in at a plus 320 for his top three. Before we get to the rest of the top 10, your thoughts on where Bowman is sitting now?
Look, Bowman, somebody who's not allowed to mention his name, but Bowman, he's sitting right on that cutoff line. And if you look, if he's 29 points behind 15th, Tyler Reddick. So if a random driver wins this race, if Kyle Busch sneaks in and wins this race, Alex Bowman is not comfortable right now. And Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece, how about the poor RFK cars? The RFK cars, at least you had one guy kind of in, two others kind of, but now all three of them are battling for only one position left. So it's going to be a battle royale at the end of this race. And I listened to SiriusXM earlier this week, heard Ryan Preece on, I can't remember whose show he was on, but those three guys right now, RFK, they're going to be dangerous because all three of those drivers are great at this track. But
they're going to have to stick together.
But only one of them can make it. So yeah. Alex Bowman is not feeling in a very good spot right now.
No,
great on points, not great in the playoff standings.
Right. Well, let's look at the rest of our top 10, and we got some normal names and some names that we don't see up there very often. Joey Logano, fourth, but Austin Cindric, great run for him.
Great run all day too.
Getting himself in position now for the run for the playoffs here. Kyle Larson, another kind of middling effort, I guess, out of Kyle Larson.
Not what we expected.
Still haven't seen a win since May, I believe. Daniel Suarez, super run for both Suarez and Josh Berry, 7th and 8th. A good run for Keselowski, which we expected. And quite frankly, a 10th place finish out of Denny Hamlin. Very, very disappointing. And, one guy here not in the top 10 who I honestly thought probably had the best and fastest car the entire race and had an issue in the pits was Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, if he doesn't lose that tire, it's a different story for him. It's a battle between him and Austin Dillon down the stretch. Because Bubba really was showing. Here's what I like about Bubba. When we get later in the show and we talk about the championship odds, Bubba has, to me, in the last 6 weeks, Bubba has proved that he is legitimate championship contender now. He has run well on short tracks, super speedways, road courses, intermediates. He is proving now that he is someone that we need to pay attention to when it comes down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think once we get into the playoffs, I don't think there's anywhere that's going to really scare him.
No.
If you will. So let's take a look at how we did in our group picks, or at least who our winners were. Shockingly, despite not running that well, Kyle Larson won Group A. Finished sixth. You don't see the sixth place guy win Group A very often.
Yeah, that's kind of a shocker right there if you really look at that, saying that he won Group A with a sixth place finish. But you just said it. Denny Hamlin didn't run that well. William Byron, which I was expecting much more out of William Byron, he didn't run that well. So, he got it with congratulations with a sixth place finish. Way to go.
Our winner in Group B was Ryan Blaney with the third place finish. That finally broke a string of Chase Briscoe winning his groups. Briscoe kind of got turned around there, and it was a rough day for Briscoe out there. Josh Berry, we talked about his ability on short tracks, and we even talked about possibly him being a good pick here in Group C. He did win Group C with his 8th place finish. Group D was won by Alex Bowman. Finished second in the race. You pretty much finished second in the race. Most of the time you're going to win Group D.
Especially Group D.
Austin Cindric getting a top 5, winning Group E there, so no big surprise there. And Michael McDowell finished 17th, but he won Group F.
That's what it needs. That's all, to win Group F, you got to be 15 to 20. And there he is, Michael McDowell right
somebody
there.
at this table picked him.
I don't I know.
And I'm going to kind of just say I might have gotten a little poo-pooed by making that pick.
I'm not saying I didn't poo-poo it. I just, nice job. I'm there.
So, well, we touched a little bit on the standings and where we are right now. But right now, other than the guys who are above the cut line right now, no one else is pointing their way in. I mean, Chris Buescher is 17th. He is 60 points behind Alex Bowman. Look, you can do the math, and the math may say he can do it.
No, but 60 points, you can't.
He's not making that up.
You have to look at it as, like you said, Alex Bowman to Tyler Reddick, 29 points. That is 2 stage, good runs and stages and a good finish. You may be able to point your way in if
you're Bowman, you're thinking, I want to get ahead of Tyler Reddick, because I don't know if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or Kyle Busch or one of those 3 RFK cars.
And that's what I'm saying is if you're Alex Bowman, what you're going to do right now is you're going to get every stage point you can. You're going to try to make sure you get those stage points, get the solid finish, and hope that you can outpoint your way to Tyler Reddick just in case someone wins this race, like a RFK car, like a Kyle Busch, somebody that is outside those points, you need to make sure you can cover Tyler Reddick. And that's what they need to make sure they watch this race. They want to cover Tyler Reddick and get those bonus points.
I want you to put your Brad Keselowski hat on, your team owner Brad Keselowski hat on. What conversations are taking place with those drivers going into Daytona? Because they have to stick together. But they can't break up their groups.
Priest talked about it on SiriusXM this week, and basically what he said was their whole thing is, as an organization, we always talk about this race being a Ford, Chevy, Toyota race anyway, right? More important than ever now for the RFK cars, those three have to work together. They need to get nose to tail near the front of that field, so that way, if somebody makes a move, each other can block the move and make sure it's done. At the end, coming off turn 4, it's all fair and love and war for the three of them, as long as it's them two side by side for the win. That's going to be.
But somebody's taking it 3 wide.
Oh, somebody absolutely will. But you got to make sure one of those guys win, because even if Brad knows, Ryan Priest knows, Chris Buescher knows, they all know that for the organization, they need to get one of those cars in. So I do believe that they will work together, and whoever's in the front will make a play at the end, but I think they'll work together. I believe in those 3 kids as good teammates.
And what about the rest of the Fords? Do they help them?
Well,
I mean, I know Chevy used to have those meetings, but
what for? I mean, really,
just Logano, Blaney,
Logano's in, Cindric's in, Josh Berry's in.
So do they help them?
The front row Fords are the only ones that aren't in. So I don't think you get help from those Fords.
No,
but you'll get help from the Penske Fords, maybe.
I mean, it seems like it would make a lot of sense to.
Penske Fords will probably help.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We come back on Gone Racing. We got lots to talk about. We got 3 segments of our show, but next thing we'll tell you about the upcoming schedule and start getting into some odds.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back to the Dude Wipe Studio here at the South Point Hotel Casino in beautiful Las Vegas. It's Gone Racing. Jeff Motley, Brendan Gaughan.
I'm not laughing this time, see?
You're not laughing? Because nothing funny happened during the break. The only funny thing that happened is you realized that you had the wrong odds in your email. But fortunately, our screen is correct. And
that's right.
At least my printout is correct.
I'm professional. I can make it. I can roll.
You're saying there was some unprofessionalism that
professionally unprofessional.
Okay.
I'm a professional. Trust me. I'm a professional.
Well, we are headed this weekend to the World Center of Racing for the final race of the regular season. And we're talking all things Daytona. Before we talk about Daytona, though, let's talk about the upcoming schedule we've got. Now, we end the regular season here. We start the playoffs next week at Darlington, the traditional Southern 500. By the way, we got Cookout on the Southern 500.
That's right, another one.
Cookout
last week and this week.
Me some Cookout.
Next week.
Then we head out to St. Louis, Gateway, Madison, Illinois, actually, right across the...
Bill Murray going to be the Grand Marshal.
Bill Murray's going to be the Grand Marshal.
How they pulled that off, way to go. Love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess he'll kill all the golfers while he's out there, right?
Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry.
Then we end the first round of the playoffs at the world-famous night race at Bristol. They've done a yeoman's job of converting from a baseball...
Getting the baseball dirt off.
Baseball stadium into a speedway.
Had to be easier than getting the dirt off the track.
Well, that's probably true. I don't know. And then we're going to start the second round of the playoffs at New Hampshire. First time I think New Hampshire's been in the playoffs in
the Magic Mile
in quite some time. So it's going to be exciting to see that schedule coming up. But this week it's Daytona, and we got some guys. And look, we like to call it a crapshoot.
No. One of us.
Well, I would say you've used that term before too.
I use it just because it's what you like to call it.
Oh, or. Well,
if you look at the stats of how people do here, guess what? It's not a crapshoot.
And I kind of like to antagonize you a little bit too.
I mean, listen, rage bait. I get it. I get it. The young kid language, rage bait.
But
I'm Sigma.
But what we don't see is, like we've seen some racetracks where a guy, has made 20 starts and had 14 top 10s and 11 top 5. We don't see that as much at Daytona. I mean, Denny Hamlin. I mean, he's tied with William Byron for the most wins. But he's also started almost 3 times as many races.
I can tell you in the last 10 races, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the last 10 races that have 5 top 10s in 10 races. 50% top 10 at Daytona.
But career-wise...
That's not a crapshoot.
Well, the one guy I really look at here the most is William Byron. William Byron, he's got 15 races, 3 wins, and 4 top 5s and 5 top 10s.
That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty good
for a young career
for Daytona for a young driver.
That's pretty good. But look, Bubba Wallace. You got to look at Bubba Wallace. I don't know if is he on our list that we're showing.
Bubba had won Daytona. He's won Talladega.
Yeah, but he's got 4 top 5s in the last 10 races at Daytona,
and he runs well on these tracks.
He runs well at the super speedways.
2 top 5s in the Daytona 500.
Yes, he did,
I believe.
So but Bubba's pretty dang strong here at Daytona. No win to show for it, but really strong. He doesn't need the win now, of course, but he would love to pad some playoff stats if he could get a few more bonus points.
And I look here, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 2 wins, Kyle Busch has a win, Brad Keselowski a win, Michael McDowell a win, Chris Buescher a win.
Harrison Burton a win.
But that group I just mentioned, what do they all have in common? They are not in the playoffs, but they've got wins here at Daytona.
I'm hearing Ann yell crapshoot in the background. I'm like, yeah. No, I remember who did the walk-off last year in this race? Harrison Burton. He was in the field. I bet it for the field bet because they didn't have a bet on him at the South Point, and he ended up winning, getting the 20-1 shot. So, this is
certainly happen again. You're exactly right. So, all right, well, speaking of our odds, let's get into our odds. And look, there's a chance to win some money at Daytona because as you're going to see, the odds here are what I would say pretty astronomical. Ryan Blaney, the only driver in single digits here, is a plus 800. Austin Cindric, Brad Keselowski, and Joey Logano, 3 Fords. And Fords all at the top here are 10-1. Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Busch are 15-1. Carson Hocevar, that's a name we have not said that much the last few weeks. Carson Hocevar, Ryan Preece, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, Chase Briscoe, and Kyle Larson are all 20-1.
That's a lot of 20-1s right there. Here's the thing. Blaney being the only single-digit guy, I
think the Penske cars are so strong.
Penske cars are very strong. I do not discount that.
I would always, if I'm going to rank the Penske cars, I'm always going to put Logano first because I think Joey is the one that's going to be more bullish to get out front sometimes.
Joey is the one that you think of when you think of super speedway racing. You think of Joey Logano.
The way he can move lanes, But
here's what I like. Remember, we talk about manufacturers here, right? The Fords, we just said that Penske and RFK will most likely work together a little bit. The only Fords that won't work together, air quotes, that don't work on Sirius XM are the front row Fords, right? So that Ford wants to get another one of those RFK cars in. Penske probably is willing to help them out a little bit because you've got their guys already in the playoffs. So you go, all right, Brad K's 10-1, Chris Buescher's 15-1, and we haven't even got to Ryan Preece yet. We did 20-1. So you've got 15, 10, and 20. I like all 3 of those guys to win this race because I do like the way the Fords work together. I do like the way that their manufacturer, how they pit, how they function. And I think that to me, betting on the entire RFK team at 10, 15, and 20 is, I believe, a very, very strong bet.
Well, and I think it is too. I'll tell you, the guy, and I mentioned him earlier when we were talking about records here, William Byron's 15-1. William Byron won at Daytona earlier this year.
Yes, he did.
Byron, by the way, one thing we did not mention, Byron has clinched the regular season championship,
yes, he did,
even with a race to go. And if you're a guy like William Byron, and as is Denny Hamlin or any of these other guys, playoff points are important.
Yep.
So winning this race, it's not I'm in the playoffs, I'm going to ride
5
30.
bonus points that carry all the way through.
So I see 15-1 on William Byron, and I just see an incredible value right there.
That is a big value.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at our longer odds here. Ross Chastain is 25-1. Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick, Michael McDowell are 30-1. AJ Allmendinger is 40-1. Austin Dillon, Cole Custer, Noah Gragson, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, Daniel Suarez, and Todd Gilliland, all 50-1. And the field is 30-1.
Yeah, but I noticed this year there's only 8 drivers in the field this time. Last year, remember, I think it was we had 28 and they had 12 guys in the field. And I'm like, hey, wait a second.
I still think 30-1 is kind of 30, Field Bet won this race last year.
Well, and I'm just going through right now.
You had it, I believe.
I did. That's why I'm just trying to right now go through
Riley
and
Herbst is in it. Shane Van Gisbergen
here's
is
what
going to be in it.
Ty Dillon is in that.
Ty Dillon.
And that's one I look at right off the bat.
And do we have any one-off car?
There's a 33 car with Austin Hill. There's no 62 this week. 62's not there. But Austin Hill is in it this week. You got Ty Dillon that's in the field right there. You got Riley Herbst in the field, who was very good.
Riley is very good on these tracks. I was
going to say he's very good there. I got to do a little more of a deep dive.
I could see the Trevor Bain, David Reagan, Derek Cope situation play out for a guy like Riley Herbst here. No question.
I could see it for Riley. I could see it for a Ty Dillon. I could see, look, Kyle Busch is the main function right now of trying for RCR to get in there. But Ty Dillon, he might be right in that battle. And Ty's very good at super speedway racing too. So there are enough in the field here that it is enticing at 30-1. But I would pick 3 or 4 winners and be pretty darn. I mean, Austin Dillon's 50-1. Austin Dillon, he's pretty happy right now, and he's going to be trying to push his teammate Kyle Busch to the win, so he's going to be near the front.
Right. Which you think that if it comes down between those two, you got Kyle Busch.
You know that it's going to be Kyle Busch, so
got to win. All right, let's move along to our top threes, and the numbers get a little more skewed here when we get to the top threes. Joey Logano is at the top of the board at plus 275. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and Austin Cindric at plus 300. Interesting, we have a Chevy hops in there near the top of the board here, unlike on the odds to win.
DraftKings to South Point.
Yeah, William Byron and Brad Keselowski are plus 330. Kyle Busch 425. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 450. Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell at 500. Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, and Bubba Wallace all at 550. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez are 600. Alex Bowman 650. Ryan Preece and Chase Briscoe 800, and Josh Berry 850.
So I always talk about the fear of betting one manufacturer, right? Because if that wreck happens, it takes out that manufacturer.
And we've seen that happen on multiple occasions.
It happens often here. But at the same vein, I just talked about the winners. Let's talk about this with RFK now for top 3. Brad K 330, Chris Buescher 550, Ryan Preece 800. These are 3 guys that are super good at this track. These are 3 guys that are going to be pushing each other to the front of this pack for the win. If you end up with 2 or 3 of them near the front of this field at the end, they go for the win with themselves. You could get 2 of those. Do I bet the winner and get a 20-1 shot? Or do I bet 3 of these guys in a top 3 and maybe I get a plus 800 and a plus 550? It's a pretty good return there also.
Well, it is. I think there's a part of me that thinks that if they come down off that 4th turn and they're running up front, I think at some point one might win it. But I could see the others get overtaken.
Get overtaken, but they could be sitting there protecting, pushing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they're blocking at some point, that can also head south.
Absolutely.
You can end up crossing the line like Almirola did a few years ago with your taillights first. So
Ryan Newman above my head.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you could end up going across the line there. But one I like there's Bubba Wallace.
And
he has run so well. Plus 550, I think, is a good number there on him. All right, our longer shots for top 3s. Carson Hocevar's plus 900. Austin Dillon 11-1. Ty Gibbs is 12. Michael McDowell, Eric Jones at 14. Todd Gilliland, Noah Gragson 15. Zane Smith, Ty Dillon at 18, along with Shane Van Gisbergen, Justin Haley, John Hunter, and Cole Custer, and A.J. Allmendinger, all 18-1. Austin Hill is 22. Riley Herbst 25. Cody Ware 30, and B.J. McLeod 40. We've got pretty much everybody in it.
They got everybody in this one. I mean, here I like the Austin Hill because Austin, you've seen what he's done in Xfinity side. He is really, really good at this place. So that's a big one right there.
Austin Dillon, 11-1.
Austin, go the RCR route. Take Kyle Busch at 425, Austin Dillon at 11, and Austin Hill at 22. You know Austin Hill's main job is to push Kyle Busch. You get Kyle Busch and Austin Hill, you get a great return there also.
Yeah, and I wonder about some of these guys that are desperate, like a Michael McDowell. I mean, good numbers, but he's got to win.
He's got to win.
Top 3 is really not going to cut it for
Austin
a guy
Hill's
like
going to be pushing Kyle Busch if he has any shot.
No, you're exactly right. All right, we come back on Gone Racing. We'll get into our driver head-to-heads as well as our group matchups for Daytona.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching? This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Welcome back to the Dude Wipe Studios here at the South Point Hotel Casino. Beautiful Las Vegas. And spa.
Yeah.
Always,
and bowling alley. And movie theater.
And good restaurants.
And restaurant. And Michael's.
And a race book and a sports book. Unlike a lot of places.
We still have a race book.
A lot of places have a race and sports book. Here, there's a race book and there's a sports book. Yes. So a lot of great things here at the South Point. That's Brendan Gaughan. I'm Jeff Motley, in case you're not sure. You've
never heard of us.
Been listening to us for the last 8 years. Some people probably have.
Who knows?
Maybe a couple.
Well, I know the Moosh and his partner at the gym, who, by the way, both ended up positive last week following our picks, and I got into a big argument over how to add there. Did
you tell them that Daytona is a little tougher?
I
did
give a caveat this week. I said, hey, if there's a week that you're going to, I know they're new. See, here's the thing. These are guys we normally on this show talk to NASCAR bettors who are not traditional bettors. They're NASCAR guys. We're trying to teach them how to bet. These are guys that are bettors who do a very, very poor job, by the way, at betting and trying to teach them about NASCAR. It's kind of the reverse here. But I did tell them this is a week that either we're going to score 60 points or we're going to have 0 for 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's feast or famine normally at this place.
Exactly. Because what thing we cannot control is a 25-car pileup on the back straightaway that takes out really good cars.
As Dave Moody said, I have won the Daytona 498 at least 3 or 4 times.
This is true.
And you know why we can talk about this stuff right now? Because the head-to-heads are next.
And we don't have to spend a lot of time on them.
Talk about them much.
In fact, most of the time, every head-to-head is a minus 110 to minus 110.
We have a couple.
Now, if you want to bet a don't line, we have a don't line available here because Austin Cindric, Brad Keselowski, and Joey Logano are all plus 105 against Ryan Blaney's minus 125. Everything else is, like I said, minus 110 to minus 110. So we're not even going to talk about those. So if you want to say Ryan Blaney is going to finish poorly,
he got a shot. If he gets in the wreck, he's got a shot.
Take your shot.
There's the end of head-to-heads. Let's move on.
Yes. So we move into Group A. And frankly,
our group matchups kind of suck this week too, as always, which I did tell the Moosh and his buddy.
And that's the thing you have to understand is every group is going to be relatively the same. The numbers are going to be close. This is probably a show where we should have had like a guest in here or something to help fill some time. But Group A, Ryan Blaney is the favorite. He's plus 240. His Penske teammate, Austin Cindric, is at plus 275. His former Penske teammate, Brad Keselowski, at plus 280. And his other current Penske teammate, Joey Logano, is plus 280. So this is pretty much just a big old Penske group up here.
So you know how I normally talk about splitting up Fords versus manufacturer to manufacturer, blah, blah, blah.
Good luck here.
Well, but there is one thing that I do like about this group. Joey Logano, locked in the playoffs. Austin Cindric, locked in the playoffs. Ryan Blaney, locked in the playoffs. Who's not locked in the playoffs in this group?
Brad Keselowski.
And do they all drive for Fords?
Yes.
So is Ford going to be trying to, if possible, make sure that Brad Keselowski can make the playoffs? So if I was to pick if you know as well as I do, it's hard to be at the end of these races, Jeff. But at the end of this race, Brad Keselowski will have the advantage because I believe these guys will, one, be trying to actively help Brad Keselowski, even though the other 3 drivers are Penske's. I believe they'll be trying to help Brad.
I like to think that over my years of working in racing, that I spent decades, but just maybe I'm going to say over the last 12 to 15.
Okay.
I feel like I've spent a fair amount of time around Joey Logano.
I would say you have.
And I am telling you right now that if Joey Logano comes off of turn 4 and he has a chance to win this race, Joey Logano is going to go and win this race.
I did not put the personality of drivers in the conversation here. Look, Joey Logano, by the way, is on my South Point for 100 bottle. The of course slot promotion bottle here at the South Point for the month. But
well, next week we'll sit it here on the table.
I'll bring one in next week.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
And I love the way Joey races. So this is not a knock on
Look,
Joey. He's a competitor and he's a winner, and that's
and he doesn't like to push anybody. But I do believe that he also believes bigger picture. If I'm going to bet anybody, if I'm going to bet a group this week, The only group I like is this one so far right here. Brad K at plus 280, because I believe the other Fords will be actively trying to assist him get in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm probably going to look at all the groups and I'm going to be like throwing up the X, but I got to pick something.
This one is the only one I can lean somewhere on so far.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where I want to go there.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's move along to Group B, and maybe you can try to. Now we got all three manufacturers here in Group B, whereas Denny Hamlin and Chris Buescher are both plus 265. That's a Toyota and Ford. Then we got a couple of Chevys, a couple of Hendrick cars. William Byron, Chase Elliott, plus 270.
So William Byron probably, look, he's got nothing to lose, right? He's the point leader. He's already won the regular season championship. He's going to want to gain. He's going to want to gain playoff points. He's going to want to gain stage points. Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, has to win to get in.
Well, Buescher is the Keselowski of this group.
Yeah, but the difference is you got a Toyota and Denny Hamlin who gives two flying whats about Chris Buescher trying to get in. You got William Byron and Chase Elliott, same theory. They're in the Chevy camp. So if I'm going to pick anybody, it'd be Buescher just because he has to win to get in. But Denny Hamlin doesn't want any of these guys to get points. Denny Hamlin also wants to help. He's got right now Tyler Reddick on the bubble. He doesn't want Chris to win. He wants Tyler to make sure that he's in that championship. This one to me, if I'm going to pick somebody, it is going to be Buescher, but I'm not going to pick any group because I don't like any of the juice in the squeeze.
See, and I'd like Byron here. I just think Byron over the last few years, when he's run well, he's been the best guy.
No, he's good.
Now, again, obviously, if he ends up facing the wrong direction halfway through the thing, then it's probably not going to do it. But I just feel like if Byron is there at the end, he really has figured out how to handle these last laps and make the right passes. And again, none of these groups are easy this week.
No.
I mean, I guess they're never easy, or we would just go cash tickets all the time. But we have cash more than
we do cash more than
we've thrown away.
We do cash more often than we lose.
Yeah. Even though I hear there's controversy.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into
That's
that.
why he's the moosh.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move along to Group C, where Carson Hocevar and Ryan Preece are both plus 265. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell at plus 270. Now, I know you're yawning, but the funny part about this is Group C, for the way you've been talking about the groups, is exactly the same as Group A and Group B. Not exactly, because you got two drivers here who are not in.
I've got a Ford, a Chevy, and two Toyotas.
But you've got another RFK car in this group.
Understood.
So you've had one RFK car in each of these first two groups.
But now you have the difference in the other ones. Carson Hocevar is not locked in the playoffs either. And Hocevar, as we all know, has been a wild card a lot lately. So to me, Bubba Wallace is by leaps and bounds the most consistent on this racetrack, the most consistent at super speedway racing. I like Bubba Wallace as far as what he does, but with this race being that cutoff and all the stuff that happens during this race, I don't like it, because Hocevar is going to be driving aggressive and throw caution to the wind. Preece is going to be doing the same thing, looking for his teammates, trying to throw caution to the wind, and Bubba and Chris just want points and bonus points. So I can't pick one here.
Well, if you keep not picking groups,
I'm not going to pick many. You don't have to worry about that. I'm not picking many.
See, I look at this group and I say, okay, Christopher Bell on Daytona. Carson Hocevar, who's going to help push him on the final lap?
Exactly.
So that really brings it down to me to being Preece and Bubba. I think Bubba's a little better on these tracks than Preece.
Bubba's great.
I'm good with Bubba right here. So I think I'd go Bubba Wallace here, Group C. I kind of like him.
I don't dislike it.
Group D. Alex Bowman is a favorite in Group D. He's plus 260. Chase Briscoe and Kyle Larson are both plus 265. And Ross Chastain plus 280.
So you look at this right here. All these guys, except for one, is in the playoffs again.
And they very well could all four be in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, the one is in, but he's teetering by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Chase Briscoe in with a win. Kyle Larson in with wins. Ross Chastain in with win. Alex Bowman. I see Kyle Larson in a Hendrick Ford or a Hendrick Chevy. I see Ross Chastain in a Chevy owned by Justin Marks. So I right now really, really like the Alex Bowman, because I do believe that they will make sure that Alex Bowman has enough points, and he doesn't have to win the race to get in. He just needs to have enough points and make sure somebody else is winning that isn't going to.
Well, that's the key for him. I mean, he doesn't have to win, but if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins this
Then
race,
he has to win.
or Kyle Busch
then
wins
he has
this
to beat
race,
Tyler Reddick in points. So I like the
and
Bowman
that's a lot
in this
of
one,
points, by the way.
because Bowman is going to stay up front all day, get points, stay in points, hopefully stay in front of the wreck. I like Bowman in Group D. I like two groups here. It's Group D and Group A.
I do like Bowman here in Group D. I know that by your rules, I'm not supposed to be allowed to say that.
You're not allowed to say that.
But I kind of look, and again, I kind of go through it. This has never really been Kyle Larson's kind of racing. It just hasn't. And Chase Briscoe, it was never really Truex. It's funny. We've talked every week lately about how
Truex
trying
versus,
to compare Chase Briscoe to how Martin Truex Jr. because it seems like he and James Small just keep gelling more and more. And Daytona and Talladega were probably the biggest Achilles heel that Martin Truex Jr.
Last
had.
10 races for Martin, one top 5.
Yeah. Whereas Briscoe has run these races pretty well, even when he was at Stewart-Haas.
In 9 races, 2 top 5s. He's done better than Martin.
Well, I say he ran well when he was at Stewart-Haas.
Yep.
So I don't know.
I just Bowman, to me, he's got the most to gain. He'll go for the win.
Well, Bowman's got the most to gain, and I guess you could probably look at it and say that Bowman has the most to lose if you could look at it that way as well. So, what do you think of Chastain? I mean, is he a guy? I mean, he's another guy. I always wonder: is he going to get any help?
The problem with Chastain, I've always said about these places, Jeff. Ross Chastain's dislike, I don't want to use that word, but the how people feel about him, the angst that people have around him, they don't like to help Ross. That has always hurt Ross at these tracks, and I think it will until he can change that image.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Okay, we got one segment left on Gone Racing. We got a couple of groups to do. We got manufacturers, and then we'll give you our picks and tell you how we did last week.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, all I heard was two people, and it's 3, 2, 1, and
a
go.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I heard Frankenstein in there.
3, 2, 1, go. So
two fellas on a Frankenstein.
Yeah. So our
is there some
intro's
TV
Alvar.
lingo that we don't know? Do we need to ask the guys behind the curtain here? Is there like a Frankenstein as like a camera? Can somebody? We don't do a live call in.
Yeah,
Sirius always asks us to, but I don't think you and I don't think anybody's ready for us to have live call in.
Oh no. That would. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
We used to have guests all the time.
No, some of the people that say how bad our picks are on Twitter or something like that.
I'd love the Moosh to call in right now.
So back on Gone Racing.
Yes.
It's Jeff Miley, Brendan Gaughan. It's our final segment. Talking Coke Zero 400 Daytona, final race of the regular season. We got 2 groups to go, and let's move along to Group E, where Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Michael McDowell are both plus 265, and Josh Berry and Ty Gibbs are plus 270.
So here's my problem. We talk about how great Ricky Stenhouse does here. Michael McDowell, one of the best stats here. Josh Berry, the team that won in the walk-off last year. And Ty Gibbs, a young man that needs to win and get in.
But Josh Berry hasn't really run these tracks.
No, but it's still the Woods brothers. It's still Penske Fords.
There was a lot of cars that were sitting in the garage area.
There's a lot of that race, that's true. But Stenhouse, Michael McDowell, Gibbs, all of them have the same motivation. They all have to win and get in. Josh Berry doesn't. I can't pick anything in this group. I mean, it's going to be quick and easy for me to talk about.
I like McDowell and Stenhouse both, but I'm not picking it because I like the guys that have got more experience here. All right, let's move along to Group F. John Hunter Nemechek and Daniel Suarez plus 265. Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith at plus 270.
I mean, if you're talking experience, Daniel's got them all covered by a long shot. Daniel, but John Hunter, right now that legacy team has kind of fallen off the wayside as of late. Todd and Zane was 11th last week at Richmond. Not that it has a dang bit of thing to do with Daytona.
Zane has been quietly consistent the whole second half of the season.
Zane has been quietly popping great finishes and then disappears for a little bit.
Yeah.
So but I can't give you a Group F breakdown this week. There's nobody that says this is the guy for Group F. It's all too equal.
Well, I think the guy that's going to be the most comfortable out there is Suarez. And but Brendan, every group is equal this week.
Yeah,
that's just kind of what we're dealing with. That's
what we got.
Daytona. So it's nothing easy. If I had to pick somebody, I like Suarez here. I mean, not to go into any real big in-depth analysis, because there's not a lot of in-depth analysis to go on that.
Now,
so.
I do like a manufacturer pick.
Well, let's take a look at that manufacturer pick, where Chevy is plus 110. Now, this, I have to admit, does make me scratch my head a little bit. Ford is plus 160, yet the top 4 favorites to win the race are all Fords. So I think that must just be a
DraftKings versus South Point. You know,
and then Toyota comes in as the big dark horse here at plus.
This is a sheer numbers game at Daytona and Talladega. To the Moosh and his buddy, if they happen to listen to this portion, this is because there's only 8 Toyotas in the field and there is 16 Chevrolets. So that's why this is the numbers game. I do like the Toyotas in the field. You got Denny Hamlin in a Toyota. You know you got something good right there, especially at a super speedway race. But I like the 160 on Ford. That 160 on Ford is a great number for Ford with the guys they got, with the people they have that have their backs to the wall, who have proven in the past they know how to perform like that. I love the 160 on Ford.
I do too. I'm with you. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite picks this week. But again, if I can get 160 and I can get all those guys, you know, and I look at who they're, and don't get me wrong, I mean, you're going against some other, you know, worthwhile competitors, but I just think the fact that I think those guys will stick together. I really do.
I do.
Now, again, as you said, you get a big wreck, and that means, well, they all go to the garage together too. But I do like that. All right, let's take a quick look at our championship odds. I'm going to be quite honest with you, Brennan. I'm a little shocked that Kyle Larson is still the co-favorite at plus 400. He's with Denny Hamlin at 400. And I'm also shocked that Chase Briscoe is still at 15-1.
And Logano's gone down to 15-1. And Reddick's gone down to 15-1. And Bubba Wallace, let me tell you, the biggest value on this page to me is Bubba Wallace at 40-1. Watch out. He is absolutely running in a championship form, in my opinion. And 40-1, that could be your hedge of all hedges. You take that one right there. He gets to that final round. You've got a great number to balance off of.
Well, and look, here's one thing. We got some of these guys that are not in the playoffs right now. There's Brad Keselowski. There's Chris Buescher, both at 100-1, and Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Ryan Preece, 200-1. If those guys happen to win at Daytona, you're going to see a big number change.
The 80-1 on Shane still is intriguing. I don't think but with the number of bonus points he has, we think that might
the way
get him,
that sets up with that road course in the second stage.
Shane, 80-1 is definitely too high of a number. I'm not saying it's intriguing there that he could theoretically make it to Phoenix.
Right, because if he gets to, and let's talk about this, if he gets through that first round, you got a road course in the second round, and you got Talladega in the third round. But here's the thing with Talladega. Now, maybe he hasn't been the greatest at Daytona and Talladega yet, but he would go to Talladega with only 7 other drivers. So a big wreck
takes out a few of them.
Could whack a whole bunch of that field down in a hurry.
No, I think the 80-1. I love those 15-1 guys, but my favorite right there is Bowman to be your hedge action. Go with Bowman.
All right. Well, let's talk about how we did last week. One of my favorite topics.
You guys had a great week, and the pit crew had a great week.
Pit crew had a great week? You had a good week.
Briscoe was running great until he got spun out, but I was excited about Briscoe right there. I had him double on those things, and he got into a Hasselhoff, and it took him out of both of those. Nemechek was never anything. But I got the Byron Bell, so I'll take my Byron Bell.
The don't line on Bell worked out this week. I had Byron and Larson, and I'll say that McDowell Group F F pick there. You got the Byron over Bell, and you went manufacturer last week.
I went the Chevy. Got it.
Chevy to win. Manufacturer pick there.
And the pit crew. How about the pit crew with a solid week there? They got the Larson over Bell. They got the Larson over Hanlon. They went the Larson do line.
And let me tell you, when Kyle Larson wins 2 head-to-heads, but he finishes 6th,
that's a gimme.
You got to feel like you got to get there a little bit. And then they picked that man that I'm not allowed to talk about to win Group D. And if you're curious, that's his initials are AB. If you're trying to guess who that is, since I'm not supposed to say his name. But the standings right now, I'm telling you.
Oh, we got the graphic back this week.
Well,
graphics back.
There he is.
Graphics back.
I wonder how long it'll stay up there this time. 66.25 units for me. You're at 41.3, and the pit crew is at 15.6. So they have really come on. The pit crew's had a couple couple of really good weeks.
Pit crew was at like plus 3 units. They're in danger of 0 for 5 week, putting them back to negative, and they have come back from the depths of the real Mendoza line.
Like the Phoenix. They've risen from the ashes, right? So, all righty.
But it's still worse to first. And unlike Ann last week, who chimed in saying that she didn't have to go first, no, it is the season totals, so she still goes first.
So I will read off the pit crew picks. They're going with 4 groups. Brad Keselowski in Group A.
Okay.
They kind of like where you were going with that.
I like it.
William Byron in Group B. Ryan Preece in Group C. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in Group E. And unlike the two of us, they like Chevy to win.
They're taking plus 110.
Pick, plus 110.
All right. Well, I'm going to be opposite of them. I'm not so happy on the groups, and I changed my picks just here at the last second. I'm going 2 of those top 3 guys that I talked about. I'm doing Chris Buescher at plus 550 in top 3. I'm doing Ryan Preece plus 800 top 3. And I had Brad K, but I took that out, and I'm going Austin Dillon from our second page of top 3s at the double digit 11-1, because I think he is going to try to push Kyle Busch if he can be there. And I think that he is going to manage to stay up there and help block to win that. Then I'm keeping a Brad pick, though. I'm going Brad, Group A at plus 280, because I do believe, like we said, and I do also like the Bowman in Group D at plus 260.
Wow. So interestingly, you and I are not going to have any of the same picks.
That's a good sign for both of us. A better sign for me. I mean, even though you're beating me this year, I understand. Yeah. I'm
but
still
3
coming
top
for you.
3s.
All right.
That's
3 top 3. I was going to actually go 4 top 3s, but I took one out.
Well, I'm impressed though. Well, see, here's my thing with Buescher and Preece. They're either winning or they ain't.
They're all going to be
3.
right there, and I'm looking for a 1-2 RFK. Hey, Ryan Preece playing in the Brendan Gaughan Blackjack tournament.
Preece is in. I saw some names. I saw Jimmy Spencer. I saw
Mr. Excitement
Noah Gregson, and I think I saw John Hunter.
We got John Hunter.
Nemechek.
We got some big names. We got KYB coming. We got 83 coming. We got Preece coming. So we got Todd Gilligan. I got the grandson, the man that made me retire, coming.
Where are you doing that this year? Still over
Same
there
place, right near the
Grandview Lounge? All right. May have to find my way over there.
Hey, you can buy a team. It's available. Should be online. South Point.
That's right. I don't get to just come in. I can just come hang out.
You get to come hang out this year.
Just come hang out.
You can buy a team.
Have any responsibility. Yep. There you go. All right. My picks.
He goes right to the picks on that one.
You want my picks for this week. So don't laugh. I'm taking a head-to-head.
Oh, God. Really?
Yes. Joey Logano over Ryan Blaney. I get a plus. I get a plus number.
I hope you lose.
I get a plus number on Joey Logano at
Just
Daytona.
For picking a head-to-head at Daytona. I hope you lose.
I get a plus on Joey Logano at Daytona. I'm going to take it. So Joey Logano plus 105. Group picks. I'm going William Byron in Group B.
Okay.
Bubba Wallace in Group C, and Daniel Suarez in Group F. And a little surprised to you and I did not have this one together, but I do love the Ford manufacturer pick.
I was on that, but I'm going with the bigger number. I'm going with the 11-1. I do love your Bubba Wallace pick. I do like that one. I'll give you that. I think Bubba deserves that pick. He's earned it, in my opinion. How well he's been running.
Well, we've got a minute left. Who's in? Who's out? We got 2 spots up for grabs. Do the 2 guys in there right now, do they make it? Or did we get an upset winner this week?
I'll tell you what, man, there's a lot of manufacturers talking to a lot of people, trying to make a lot of deals with each other to make sure that their guys get in, their guys stay in, their guys, protect. So it's going to be tough. But once again, I'm not part of the media, so I get to be biased. I'm rooting for my RCR boys. I'm hoping KYB can get in. And I'm also rooting for my Vegas boys, so I'd love to see a Noah or a Riley sneak their way into the playoffs just because, not that they'll make noise, I just want them to make it.
I'm going to predict that we keep the status quo and that Reddick and Bowman both make the playoffs and that we don't get an upset winner this week.
Reddick certainly hopes that because Reddick is damn good in the playoffs.
Yeah, he could be strong, and it's going to make it look like my pick's bad for Bowman. But anyway. All right, that's it for Gone Racing this week. We will be next week where we will break down Daytona, and we will kick off the playoffs at Darlington in the Southern 500.